So our lovely Arlene, sorry, I pull my chair out so I can sit. Our lovely Arlene put a challenge in Facebook to do a haul of your stash. So I have a few things here. I kept like finding things. I'm like, oh, what about this? I forgot about this. Let me show this. But we're just gonna go through the things that I have here. So first of all, I found this bag. And it's full of magazine images that aren't like glue booky, but they're more journal-y, okay? There's some book pages too, like some book images. So yeah, like these are things that I would back on a piece of, paper, like so. All right, I like to leave a little border sometimes, but you don't have to. So I would back it on there, and then the back would be a blank surface, not book or magazine. So this is like a whole bunch of things. I got a ton of stuff that I want to do that to. But I mean, look at how big this bag is. Like, I've got a ton of it. And I knew this bag existed, but I thought I remember mixing all my images together. But apparently I did not do that. So yeah, this whole bag that's what it all is. It comes from all kinds of magazines, from fashion to, home decor, all kinds of books and encyclopedias and just all kinds of stuff. I've got things from everywhere in here, which now that I think about it, I have this was one book. This was just one book. I would not back these ones. I would call these ones done. I'm going to put these in another place. But yeah, I should put all the other book page, all the harvested book images I should put in here to keep it all together. So look there we go. We came up with an organizational plan for that. So I have that bag. Now this is something I found. I have no idea. I have one of those 3-tiered carts, and for a long time I kept 3 or 4 glue books in them, laying flat, and then I ended up piling stuff on them, so I couldn't get to them, so I had to rearrange my cart. And this was one of the books that was down there, okay? So I don't know what I was doing here. Okay, I don't know. I have no idea, which is weird because I usually have an idea. I don't know if I was just going with a glue book and using these as background texture. I have no clue. No clue. And I mean, I'm going to assume that because of the pictures that I'm finding. There's nothing really focally that's more, design and texture pieces. But yeah, I have no idea what my train of thought was here. I mean, that doesn't mean we couldn't just slap them all down here and create a stinking glue book, right? In this book originally, I'm seeing some writing here. This book originally was for my tarot cards, maybe? Maybe that's where I was going with it. I have some pages in here that are not, or that are glued, I guess. This side, like this has got a pocket. I don't know. Now that I look at this, it must have been. It must have been some kind of mystical, magical book. I don't know why or where the idea came from. But these are all pieces of scrapbook paper from scrapbook paper pads that I've had for a long time. So I'm even more confused now. Before I could at least say, oh, well, it was a glue book. But now, I mean, I had a reason for this thing. So I have no idea. This was, I know that I was trying to memorize some of the tarot cards in my deck. So I don't know if this was from that. I'm really lost now. Really lost. I have no idea. But I like the way that looks with all the pages that created pockets all throughout. So that could be something, I guess. We can I guess I could continue on with that. I have no idea. So this is a book. This is a journal that I didn't forget I had, but I haven't taken it out. This whole box is one project because I kind of got myself in a little too far and it got overwhelming. So this was going to, it is my mystical, magical journal of just, it was my book of enchantments is what I called it. So these were images that I had pulled to create my book of enchantments, and I got the inspiration from Jen. I will have to look her up because I watched her for a long time and she hasn't come out with a video. She hasn't been as regular with her videos. I know that she works a lot. Man, why can't I remember her name? But these were all of the pages that I was considering for my book of enchantments. Okay, so there's a lot. Like, this is a lot of pages. Okay, a lot of pages. So then you get to the actual book. Okay. This is the actual book. Sorry, earthquake. And look at these are all images too. These are all images too. Okay. Tons of fussy cut stuff that I had no clue I had in there. This book is already chunky and I haven't even added a ton of stuff to it yet. But I bound it in a, loose binding, flowish style, and I'm going to have to go through and pull some pages out if I'm going to continue working on this. And the thing is the problem too is that I used books that also had images on them, on the pages. So I had like a fairy tale book that had some really cool pictures. This is from the fairy tale book. It's not one of the pictures, but this is from that book. And I wanted to keep those pictures in there too. Like this here, that girl, that looks kind of magical. But I'm going to have to go through and figure out some pages that I haven't done anything to and pull some pages out. I mean, this is just like way too huge. Way too huge. And I just used a ton of large pages, including drop paper. So yeah, this is like, I mean, look at all this. It's very inspiring, don't get me wrong. There's a lot. I'm like really getting inspired just looking at it. So maybe we'll do some work in this. I don't remember, I can't pull anything out. Everything in every signature appears to have something, so it's just going to be fat. I'll have to get myself a pretty scarf or something as a closure to hold it together. But yeah, so this was a project I had forgotten about. I had forgotten I had got this far in it. So I don't remember putting all that stuff in here, but apparently. So these are all just full page images that I'm probably not going to have a place for in there. But we'll keep them aside because we might be able to cut some up, the texture pieces to cover things up. So I think I'm going to work in this. I think I'm going to do some work in this. This book is like really cool. Really cool. So it has its own home because I had so much stuff to use for it. I mean, I went through a ton of images and had a ton of stuff. So I'm going to keep that out because we're going to play in that. not this video, but I will have a video come out where I do. Now this is a box that I keep on my shelf, and it's called Stray Paper. I kind of went through this box the other day when I was gluing some of the book pages, when I was looking for bases. I try to go to this box first whenever I'm working on a project, because I want to use what's in here. So like things that I pulled off my desk that I didn't really have a place for, I throw them in here. This was, I had cut a whole bunch of borders from a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and some of them screwed up a little bit. So like this is one of them. So I just threw it in here because I'll still use that. You know, I have no problem at all. I have no problem at all using this because, you know, even if I don't use the whole thing. So these are papers that I just took off my desk, which are some book pages, some book end pages. And then these are the leftover pages that I didn't glue on last week on those other, but don't worry y'all, I'm gonna have plenty to glue on. So this is just tea dyed stuff. This was from a French book, but it has some blankness to it, so that can be used for stuff. More tea dyed stuff. These came out of like some kind of a smaller notebook, but I like the aging of them, so I can glue stuff to those. This was just tea dyed. Oh, no. This was something I got out of a book, and it had been wet at one time, so it all got ruined, like the text, but you can still almost see it, and I like that look, so I will use those. I will definitely glue stuff onto those for a backing. And then these are just papers that I had recently tea dyed, and the papers, which kind of sucks, had like a strip of some kind of sticky stuff, so some of them are kind of sticky, so they work perfect for things like this where you use them for backing. So this is another page. This one's a glossier. This came from like a dictionary, I think. Some more book end pages, more book end pages, because I don't really have a place to put these right now, which is why I'm trying to find a place to put full-size single. This is great. The book that this came out of, it really stunk because I couldn't get much out of it, but those end pages. This is from a Korean, I think it was Korean, Harry Potter book that was sent to me, and of course I love this texture, this design rather. So this is like a lot of blank, a lot of space on there. This is all, oh, these came out of those work basket magazines. I had, you know, there's a few in my stash, so these came out of the work basket magazines. They're templates for whatever project, whether it was cross stitching or, look at, yeah, I love the squirrel and the chicken. I don't know what I would do with them. I don't know what I would do with them. So here's the last one I have right here. Owl, and then look at the teacup with flowers, and look at the little picture. These remind me of like Beauty and the Beast, you know, the little talking dishes. These were die cuts that were sent to me by Laura, Jersey Crafter, that, you know, was making videos for a long time. And I kept these to trace templates. I kept them for templates. This is a wonderful little envelope that came from Defy. They send little cute little cards and stuff in these little envelopes. This is a birthday card, and I love the flags. It was not to me. This was in a package of stuff that I had gotten, so I kept it because I like the flags. This is a piece of wrapping paper I had cut some out of. This is a bag of little things. I don't know where these came from. They must have just been, I must have just cleaned them all up, because there's like fussy cuts in there. This is like a printable cardstock feeling. I have no idea, y'all. I guess some of this I probably just cleaned up off my desk, but I gotta go through because I got a lot of fussy cut stuff, and I do have a home for that. just a scrap of paper. Now, I have a home for scraps, okay? And a lot of this stuff will make it to their home. See, like that's a scrap. That's a scrap I won't even use. A lot of them will make it to the scrap pile, box, whatever. These are from a 1940s encyclopedia. A lot of it will make it there, but this is just where they've been thrown for now. These are magazine texture pages. And another die cut I could put in that little baggie. So these are just some National Geographic stuff that I had kept. Like these are, that's pretty, you know. And then this is something I clearly tore this to make masterboards with, so I'll put that with my other paper. This I had cut some of these out of this doily to try something, but it didn't really work. I put them on ATCs. Look at that, that's like shiny. Put them on ATCs and it didn't really go over the way I thought. So it's some paper I dyed. These are like really thick pieces of cardstock that are double-sided, and I bet you, oh no, I think I could take them apart. I bet you I have taken these things out 3 or 4 times for different projects and I just didn't get to them. I don't know why. These are just painty paper pieces, which are kind of ugly, so they are good for background. Look at this bag. We'll go through that in a second. So I guess this has kind of been a catch-all for scraps. These were from an interior decorating book, so it has appliance mapping. It's to map out your space. So it has furniture and appliances and tables and bathroom fixtures, and then you can lay it all out yourself here. But I love these crisscrossy designs. These were postcards. I was a real idiot, and I went through a whole bunch of postcards once and ripped the stamps off the corners instead of using the whole postcard. So I don't know, but this one I did not do that to. This is a seed from a seed catalog, but I like this, you know, that I can glue something onto. This is a blueprint for something. This is a blueprint of some sort. South elevation, north elevation. It is definitely a structure. Architects, engineers, it doesn't say on here, but west elevation. It came from Fisher residence. Oh, okay, so it's somebody's home. It's the Fisher's home. This came out of some recipes I got in a binder full of old paper. Another card that somebody got in the mail. Guide them to school. This is cool. I'm sure I kept this because of the brown text on this weird little cream colored paper. Sure, that's why. Behold, your salvation comes. This is a I kept this for the text. Definitely know that. This is just a piece of ephemera that came in. Oh, it's got a whole bunch of recipes in it. Came with some recipes. This is ephemera piece, apparently. This is a book page. Ooh, I like that. Birds, birds. More end pages. That would be nice for gluing things onto. Put those over here so I can put them all together. Some foreign text. More National Geographic eyeballs. This is a stencil, and I'm having a hard time with this because it belonged to my dad when he was a kid. So I'm having a hard time using this in anything. But I don't want it to be put anywhere that it would get ruined. So I've kind of just left it in here. I don't know what to do with it. These are a bunch of circles that I cut up for my flowers when I made those flowers. So here's the circles for those, which I could use anywhere. Cookbook page, blank page, I'm sure because I ripped it. That's why it was put in here. These are book folios from some kind of a nature book. But look at how pretty that forest is. That would look so cool in my tree journal. Might have to keep that one. Might have to. Unpredictable Oklahoma. Oh, see, look at that field. That's really pretty. Oh, look at those trees. So this, I don't know what that book was. This is for the text. This is tissue paper. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got designs in the tissue paper. So we got that going on. This is just a napkin. These are fussy cut pieces from a flower from a plant book that was on the edge of the page. So I wasn't going to give these out in my image pack, so I just kept them. Red page scrap. This came from those printables that I made last year where I printed out a bunch of cards and sold them in my live sale. I have a place for my laces and fibers, so those I'll put away. Like these here, just little pieces. A watch, some more Asian text, a tag that I stamped all over, a playing card that I distressed, dictionary page. This is a postcard, Asian. Oh, it's not a postcard. This is packaging from Ally Express stuff. Looks like a postcard though, right? I guess it could be. Could be a postcard. This is a photo of a man in his skivvies carrying his weapon. He was a military man. I got a bunch of pictures that included him. So I'm going to create a weird things journal, and that's where that's going to go. This came off of a little booklet that I had sold, and I didn't know that this flap came off of it. I'd forgotten this thing existed until I found it in a bunch of my stuff. This is a stencil of a bear that I don't want. This face hung out on my desk for a long time and really like scared the crap out of me all the time. Am I in frame? Can you see me here? Yeah, you can. Okay. Painted dictionary page. This is a check. That's a check. A map. A doily that I spray my inks through and onto paper, and it creates, you know, it leaves the design. It's like a stencil. This is a page I can back things on. This is a piece of tissue paper. I got this in Happy Mail. It is like movie stars on tissue paper, so that's something that's pretty cool. You know, that could go places. More recipes. Waldorf salad, lemon chiffon pie, mincemeat chiffon pie. Pages that I've dyed that would obviously be good for collage. Oh, that's a pretty page. I like that picture. More paper that I could back things onto, right? Little bitty flower can go with my little bitty things. Green book pages. Green, green, green. This came from, I had bought a coffee table book about, for shabby chic. And while it had a lot of nice pictures, it had a lot of weird ones too. So that came from that book. These are more end pages that I can glue onto. This came from a bird book. And I know that this is blank, but I like those birds. This too is from that bird book. But this page I can glue things onto. This is from the bird book. Bird book. Very thick piece of chipboard. I use these to make things, to die cut things that look like faux metal. So I keep these. I have a home for these. Another one of those pieces. This is a backing to a, this is a book end page to a Reader's Digest, I think. But I'll use that. These are really pretty. These came out of an encyclopedia that was falling apart. So these were like, you know, once in a while they have the colored section. These were all of the colored pictures in it. So I like those. This is pages that I could back things onto. This is a page. I have a ton of this paper, this like scroll paper, so I can definitely back something onto that. This came from a paper sample pack that I had requested from a company. I kept this because it's shiny and it has a light bulb. 6x6 scrapbook paper, a book page. Oh, this came from that company too. Glitter and glitter. These are flowers I made a long time ago. And then these are ones I made in that video a few months ago. This I made a long time ago. That one. These ones I just made, kind of. This one's old. So these are just some flowers. Apparently I threw them in here. Flowers, more flowers. Look at, say, like, crunchy, crunchy. Oh, that piece isn't glued. So yeah, buttons and all kinds of little ditties there. Flowers. And that came from the printing company. That came from the printing company. That did too. All of this stuff right here, apparently. I had it all together. This was all that same company. I don't know who they were, but I would have stuff printed by them. This is some nice looking stuff. This is scrapbook paper pieces. That came from the printing company. These came from the printing company. They are corrugated. Little, thin, I think. No, they just look like it on the front. But yeah, these are just, you know, tri-fold things. A dog. That came from the company. This did too. As did this giant blue barn piece. These are pages that I had smush papered. This. And then this came from that shabby chic book. So that's pretty. Music page. More paper that I could back onto things. I don't know what this is. Declaration of Independence. More paper to back onto things. More, no, that's part of that. So yeah, I have a lot. I backed stuff onto a paper like this. I'll do that again. This is an end page, but I like this paper. I won't back that onto anything. More that I could back. This one. These must have been a set. That's like a cool music paper. I could back that onto something. And that one. And I'm left with a tag and some little tags and another flower. So yeah, that's my stray paper box. So, you know, sometimes things get stuck under the flaps. So I want to thank you all for hanging out. Oh, no, we have a bag still, y'all. We have got a bag to look through that was in here. And I'm sure the bag is just scraps, but we'll look at it and see what... I'm just trying to keep these pages somewhat together because I don't know what I'll be using them for, to be honest. I just haven't a clue. I haven't a single little tiny clue what the future holds for this stuff. I mean, by the looks of it, a lot of it's got to make it into the scrap boxes, but, you know, it's fun. It's fun to go through all of your little things. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to put my flowers away. My circles. Come on, circles. Come on, little flower dudes and little tag dudes. Oh, you want to know what I found in my stash the other day, too? Oh, and the button. Cannot forget the button. That was a punch. I have a punch that punches out and embosses those little buttons. Look at the color of this washi. Love that color blue. Alright, so I did put a little dent in it. It's a little bit lower, taking these pages out. And then this envelope bag, I think there's a lot of scraps that I stamped things onto, so let's just take these out if we can. Yank and pull. Pull and yank. Rip things out of here. Yeah, this is a lot of scrap stuff. But I'll show you some of the things that I did do. Alright, so like I have some 6x6, or I had some 12x12 scrapbook paper. This is 6x6 because I try to use the entire page somehow. So these had gone to other purpose. That's just grass and sky scrapbook paper. Those came from scrapbook papers I had for a very long time. This is a piece of scrap from a scrapbook. This is a card from a game that I have. Scraps from magazines and books. Little printable ephemera thing. Scrap paper. This is all like collage book page stuff. Some magazine texture looking things. This was a card that I made. Index card. Piece of scraps. This is like, it came out of a bunch of scrapbooking stuff I got. There were a lot of borders in it. Embossed cardboard piece that it's packaging from the ice cream that we get in the ice cream truck. This is a booklet about elevators. No, I'm just kidding. It's about Jesus, but it just has an elevator going up. Yeah, I hope so. So, scrapbook paper. This is just neon. Apparently, I'm never going to get rid of this neon paper. It's just forever going to pop up in my life. This is cigar box wrapper. So this is what I do. I take these strips and I stamp on them. And then I can just cut out the pieces or rip them out, distress them however I want to. I couldn't dye them because these are, oh, that one's stenciled. This is distress ink. I don't think distress ink dries permanently, so I couldn't dip them in anything, but I could distress them with a dauber. More magazine texture. These are books pages from Reader's Digest. More little printable pieces. More magazine. Scrapbook paper. Magazine texture. Some dyed stuff. This is like that for you know, stitching through that. This is ephemera from a scrapbook paper pad. More strips of paper. Tea bag. These little tiny folders are so cute. Index cards. If anybody knows that folder die, can you please let me know what it is? Because I kind of want to make some of those for my Etsy orders, and I could put all my little cards in there that I mail out. This is like a full, that's very red. Some of this stuff I can put in my junk tilde. This is when I whitewash. I did a video years ago where I did like a whitewash. That was cool. A lot of those came out really cool. Black didn't though. The black was kind of grungy looking. Scrapbook paper. More of my whitewash stuff. So yeah, these are just scrap pieces. This here, like, I have been savoring this and I use it very little. Oh, I have some sewing pattern paper in here too. And I have one of these die cuts. I've been looking for one of these dies for a long time. Apparently they're like unicorns now. This is wrapping paper. This is wrapping paper that my mother had growing up. And I love it, and it's thick and it's luscious and it's beautiful. But this is all I have left of it, so, and I'm sure like there's similar ones, and I'm sure there's great thick quality wrapping paper out there, but I just really like that one. I've used it sparingly here and there, you know. I have sprinkled it in some of my projects. So yeah, this folder, this envelope, we might take this out when we're junk tildering in the recent future, in the near future, because this has got some good junk tilde stuff. I'm dropping things, like, I have to clean the floor after this. Don't you hate that? Don't you hate when you just drop things under your desk? Like when I cleaned up in here, oh my god, you should see the stuff under my desk, and of course, I just end up throwing it out. you know, when it piles up like that, because the home I have for whatever little piece of paper it is long buried. So I'm like, I ain't gonna dig all that stuff out to put this one little die cut or whatever eyeball. So yeah, that was a fun adventure, and if you've stuck around this long, thank you. I hope maybe like you've gotten some inspiration from my junk. Do we get inspired from other people's junk? I mean, I know I do, but I'm not right, so I don't know if like normal people do. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Now I can clean this mess up, and we are totally going to be working in the Book of Enchantments. Ta-ta for now.